Sounds more like a girl who wants some space. Let me know if you're looking for one who doesn't.
East High and North High face off in the latest episode of High School Musical, the musical, the series, so let's break down Season 2, Episode 6, The Field Trip, and find out just what happened. What's going on, you lovely Wildcats? Lisa here, and it is time once again to dive into the latest episode of HSMTMTS. This episode, we finally get our first big showdown between East High and North High, and seems like some relationships are crumbling as secrets are revealed, and maybe others are just beginning. So, should we dive in? Let's go. So we pick up this episode after Carlos has posted Nini's song, The Rose, on the Drama Club Instagram. It's gone viral, well, for Utah, so she becomes the first guest on the brand new East High morning news show that is now hosted by EJ, who is the president of the AV Club now, which has happened pretty fast, and his co-host is none other than GINA. So thank goodness GINA stayed. We get more EJ and GINA content. Now, Nini is first guest and talks about how much this song, The Rose, means to her and how much fans have responded to it and people have been sending her DMs. And she says Ricky has been really supportive about the song being a solo and not a duet. But as Ricky is watching these morning announcements in the hall on the TV, Big Red comes up and asks if Ricky's really okay. Ricky is just like, no, it's just a show tune. It's for the show. It doesn't mean anything. It's not personal. But his mood changes when he hears Nini say how much the song means to her. Then Miss Jen calls a midday drama club meeting. I gotta point out here the Dear Evan Hansen reference because I love the show, if you can't tell. It's on my sweater, but also it's a nice nod to Roman Banks and Andrew Barth Feldman, who have joined the cast for Season 2, who were both part of the Broadway show.
Are you announcing the fall musical? I thought Dear Evan Hansen.
No, Seb. It's March.
Anyway, basically the meaning of this meeting is so Courtney can show everyone their costumes that she's been working really hard on, but she's actually pretty distracted because her and Howie are texting non-stop. They even have set a personalized ringtone for each other. It's basically an elephant going woo. It's really annoying, especially with how much they are texting each other. But while Courtney is distracted by Howie's text, Carlos is keeping tabs on North High's Instagram and thinks basically they're trolling them and somehow they know way too much. For example, North High posts about their costumes the same day East High is having their costumes revealed. Either way, everyone ends up loving Courtney's costumes, but there's one problem. She can't find the Beast's mask, so automatically everyone now thinks North High broke in and stole it, especially because they see some hair peeking out of a trunk from the North High Instagram post. Miss Jen, though, tries to tell kids to let it go and to not dance with the enemy, but the kids can't do that and decide to go to North High and break into the costume room while the North High students are at dance rehearsals. GINA offers to be the lookout while the others go look for the mask. A North High student then sees her in the hall and tries to hit on her, but in swoops EJ to save their cover.
Hey, babe.
Babe! I'm so glad you're here.
So, are we still on for risotto later?
You know, I would never miss risotto night.
And I know EJ and GINA shippers definitely got fed with this little bit of interaction this episode. Just hearing them call each other babe and boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, it actually was pretty cute. While we as viewers have seen this EJ-GINA connection for a while, it seems like they might finally be seeing it too, because they get so lost in conversation talking about what just happened that they don't even notice Lily walk into the hallway and see them. She immediately texts her sidekick, so it's like, ooh, EJ, you came to help GINA be the lookout, but you ended up blowing their cover in its own way. Meanwhile, back in the costume room, Nini sees her song continue to go viral now, up to like 35,000 views, and she says she's getting a lot of DMs from people asking her to make her own Instagram account for her music. And Ricky is definitely continuing to kind of get more upset as Nini is starting to do more things on her own, maybe? Is that how he's taking it? Not quite sure yet.
Is that something you want to do?
I don't know. Seems scary, right?
I'm a little scared right now. Does that count?
Thankfully, Nini ends up seeing hair coming out of the trunk from that photo. It's now what Courtney's sitting on, and it kind of saves any more awkward Ricky-Nini drama for the moment. But unfortunately, that just turns out to be a trunk full of wigs, so they have no idea where this mask is yet, or if North High even stole it, because then Lily and Antoine walk in. Carlos, of course, accuses them of stealing the mask, but Antoine actually makes a pretty good point.
Our costumes are most excellent. Why would we steal your mask when it is so, we do not have a word for this in France, but in America, I believe you say, fugly?
Yeah, North High has all this money. I don't think they'd be worried about any of East High's costumes. Maybe in the originality department because they have Courtney doing their costumes, but like, North High has all the money. They can buy anything they want. So why they were worried about this, I don't know. But Lily's solution to whatever is going on here is to have a dance-off with a song from the Beauty and the Beast musical picked at random with no makeup, no costumes, just both schools to see who has what it takes. But yeah, East High actually thinks this is pretty ridiculous because, let's face it, dance-off's dumb. And you would think, though, the show would be like, no, let's do it. But it's kind of funny that they play off of it being like, no, this is ridiculous. This makes no sense.
I'm sorry, no. That's weird.
Super weird.
Even for me.
But either way, East High doesn't want to do it at first, but then they start dissing Miss Jen and then diss Ashlyn as Belle, and that's when Gina steps up and says they're gonna do it. Seb, however, is like, shouldn't we take Miss Jen's advice from earlier and not dance with the enemy? But little do they know that across this school, across North High, Miss Jen's also not taking her advice and dancing with the enemy. You see, Miss Jen decided to go talk to Zach about how things are getting out of hand with this competition between the two schools. And well, she tries to talk to him, but he just keeps bringing up old memories from when they dated, but then talks about how she bailed on him the night of their senior year talent show because she wasn't professional enough to go on and perform right after she saw him cheat on her. He basically says she didn't have the chops back then and she doesn't have them now. And if there's one thing you don't say to Miss Jen, it's something like that. So she's gonna prove it to him, and they perform the song that they were supposed to do at that senior talent show, I guess. It's called Around You, and it is another bop from season 2. You need to go listen to it if you haven't. The soundtrack just keeps getting better and better as the episodes go on. And I just love getting to see Kate Reinders, Miss Jen, have her chance to show off those pipes because they are so good, and of course Derek Huff gets to show off his dancing skills. Now afterwards, Zach says he'll talk to the kids. It seems like Miss Jen's kind of falling for his spell again, and she says she trusts him, but then she realizes quickly that's not something she should do because she suggests they do another song together, and she opens the piano to find out that the Beast mask is right there and Zach stole it.
It's a contest, Jenny, isn't everything?
It is now.
Yeah, so that's pretty dramatic, but even more drama is actually happening over in the theater as everyone gets prepared for this dance-off. Lily ends up talking to Ricky and getting even more inside his head about this whole Nene situation. She says that he's handling Nene stabbing him in the back with her song pretty well, but then she of course points out the lyrics because he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, or tries to play it off, but she's like, the lyrics say, basically it's about a girl who wants space, and it seems a little more personal than just a song coming from the rose to the beast. And now it's really starting to get to Ricky.
It's just me, or is all of this like off the rails insane?
Honestly, if you don't want to do it with us, you can always take off. I don't want you to feel confined.
Wait, what?
And another fan favorite couple might be in danger as Antoine, North High's French exchange student, makes the moves on Ashlyn, asking her out, and then she's like, I got a boyfriend, so he assumes it's the popular guys. It's like Ricky or EJ, but then she points out it's Big Red, and well, Antoine's not so nice about it, trying to pass off that he doesn't know English that well because she's French and it's an excuse for him being rude, but it's not. Anyway, he says that she should dump Big Red and date him. So now North High is really in East High's head, and now it's time for this dance-off though, so what's gonna happen? Well, the song that's been chosen at random is the Mob song. As the song starts, North High's Beast walks down the fancy sets to face off with Ricky, and it's kind of like, you know how they said no makeup or costumes? Well, this doesn't make any sense that North High's Beast has his jacket and his mask on, so you can't see his identity. He also has gloves on, which for me was just a dead giveaway to the surprise that they want you to see at the end of the episode, which is actually a theory I think I mentioned a few videos I did before a couple episodes ago about how this would play out. What if he like goes to North High maybe? And then we kind of get the stereotypical, oh no, you can't date because you go to rival schools and you're on the rival theater teams. But yeah, it just seemed way too obvious the fact that their Beast walked out in costume and nobody else is in costume. Anyway, we get an excellent sing and dance off as the various, characters go head to head. We have Antoine and Carlos going head to head. We have Ashlyn and Lily going head to head. And we get to see everybody show off their pipes, some dancing skills, but the song ends suddenly when Ashlyn almost falls and Antoine is the one to catch her and save her, again upsetting Big Red, who saw earlier Antoine flirting with Ashlyn. Now, because of Ashlyn's little misstep, Lily thinks that North High won this dance-off, but nobody agrees because no one really put in any system of how they would decide who wins. East High is just like, we'll settle this at the Mankeys, and they have one thing that North High doesn't have. That's Nene and her Rose song. But then Lily actually points out that if East High performs the Rose, they'll be disqualified probably, because in the rules it says you can't alter the original text, which is interesting. Miss Jen seems like she's a stickler for rules, possibly not, but don't you think she would have done her research and would have seen something like that before coming up with her idea about Ricky and Nene and being the Rose and all that? Also, isn't this more kind of like adding to the text than altering it, like changing it or changing somebody's, character? I don't know. It's kind of a thin line there, and I feel like there will be some kind of loophole here, as Nene really wants to take the risk and perform the song, but guess who doesn't? Ricky, who chimes in again, and things just continue to go downhill for Renee.
What if the song didn't really fit in the show anyway, Seems a little heavy.
Man, this boy just needs to actually sit Nene down and talk to her and express his feelings. He seems to be opening up to so many other people but her, the one person you think he should be confiding in. So yeah, he's just instead letting other people put stuff into his head. It's driving them even further apart. I feel like as cute as Nene and Ricky are together, this just shows that they're not that good for each other. She's not the one he goes to talk about the hard stuff with. Their relationship is just, it feels like it's surface level. It's kind of feeling like it's unfortunately run its course, but we'll have to see about that. Anyway, we then see the aftermath of the dance-off as everyone goes out into the hallway, and Ricky does finally say to Nene that he's not upset about the song not being a duet, but about how everyone is gonna hear his girlfriend singing about being trapped under the glass. And Nene's just kind of like, what? And unfortunately, that's all the conversation we get to see here, so I guess this fight is going to have to continue in the next episode. We also have Ashlyn apologizing to Big Red for getting caught up in the moment with Antoine. She tries to crack a joke about it, but unfortunately it's not the right time for that, so Big Red walks off upset. EJ and Gina, though, are the happy ones leaving the theater, joking about how they guess their time is up being fake boyfriend and girlfriend, or boyfriend and girlfriend, but as a viewer, it might be the beginning of time for boyfriend-girlfriend, right? We're gonna have to wait and see. Courtney then comes out into the hallway, texting Howie and telling Carlos and Seb how she has so many stories for their date night. And then after she sends a text, she hears the elephant ringtone go off, and she's kind of like, wait, what's happening? Because we see North High's Beast still in his costume in the hallway as well, so why is that sound playing? Well, it's because Howie is North High's Beast. He takes off the mask and then he tells Courtney to let him explain, but she says don't bother and walks away and finds comfort in Nene, who happened to walk out in the hallway at that time and see everything happen. The episode then ends with Nene making herself her own music account on Instagram, and it looks like she now wants to go by a different name, her actual name, Nino.
I hope you'll support me and what I have to say. Oh, and I should probably start with my name. I'm Nina.
Which is just another indication that she and Ricky are growing further apart, because Nene is the nickname Ricky gave her when they were young, so yeah, him seeing that she no longer wants to be called that or is going professionally or whatever you want to say by Nina kind of distances herself from Ricky even more, and I feel like he's going to be even more upset than he already is. But yeah, that's the end of the major events of this episode. So we are kind of left with this dilemma of East High having to decide whether to perform Nene's song in the show and hope it works out and wows the judges enough for them to overlook that rule, or if there's a loophole that they can do it, or if they don't do it and decide to do something else grand to make their show stand out. Either way, going to be a risk. We also have the deal with Howie and Courtney. Was he the one feeding North High, their social person, all this info? Has he been leaking East High secrets this whole time? Or is he actually a good guy who really does like Courtney that unfortunately goes to the wrong school? Because Courtney's been telling him every little detail, so he could have easily told Lily, or he could be the one doing the social account posting things that happen to line up with what East High is doing. The big question here, though, is how is it that Big Red didn't know that Howie went to North High? I feel like when Howie was introduced, it made it seem like he had been working at Salt Lake Slices for quite a while. Don't you think Big Red would know something about him? I also feel like there's possibly only 2 high schools in this town, North and East High, or maybe there's more because it's North High, East High, maybe there's a South and a West High, who knows, but I I just feel like it would be pretty easy for them to deduce that if Howie isn't at their school, he's probably at North High. And if Courtney and Howie are dating now and getting to know each other, it seems like they're talking 24/7. How did the topic of school and all that kind of stuff never come up? I mean, I'm guessing maybe Howie lied about it, which would be very easy, but I don't know. Maybe Courtney actually does know he goes to North High, but doesn't know he's in the theater program or the musical. I don't know. Either way, this seems sus to me that no one knew that Howie went to North High. As far as EJ and GINA, that development is pretty cute, and I'm excited to see where that goes. Although them starting a relationship when EJ's about to graduate and GINA's only a sophomore doesn't seem like ideal timing, especially if there's another season EJ's at college. Like, how are you going to keep that working? I don't know. But lastly, Ricky and Nene continuing their downward spiral to what seems like the "we need a break" speech or an actual breakup. They don't seem to communicate like they used to. Ricky seems to have a hard time kind of grasping also that people are growing and changing. I guess for him, people are always leaving, or so it seems. He's going through a lot, but he's not really expressing it to the one person he should be talking these things through, especially if they have that deep of a relationship. But I guess we're just gonna have to see how everything plays out. So for now, let's look at the promo for the next episode.
This production will shut down rehearsal for 1 week as punishment for trespassing.
You're not returning my texts.
I've been really busy.
My father gave me this when I got into Duke.
Wait, what?
I let you in and you couldn't even be honest about who you are?
You know who I am.
I gotta go home.
So congrats on Duke. Isn't that what you always wanted?
Okay, so rehearsals get shut down for a week, which sucks, but the thing here is, shouldn't North High even be kicked out of the competition for stealing East High's mask? Like, did Miss Jen not go report that? She's got the evidence, the mask was there. Granted, Zach is a smooth talker, that school has money, they could probably weasel their way out of it, but there's gotta be security footage of Zach coming into East High to steal that mask. Right? I mean, schools nowadays have so much security cameras and everything, and it just sucks if North High doesn't get punished too. It's just stupid. But yeah, as far as the relationships, they continue to seemingly crumble for some as Courtney confronts Howie about not being honest. So I'm interested to learn what he exactly told her about who he is, where he goes to school, all that. Big Red also doesn't seem to like Ashlyn's vision board. I mean, I guess it's because we see the Arc de Triomphe in France on the board, meaning that she's thinking about France, meaning that maybe she's thinking about Antoine. And Ricky and Nene are continuing to grow apart as she's not returning his texts because she's too busy, and he doesn't seem too happy about that. Meanwhile, EJ and GINA are continuing to grow closer and confide in each other because it seems like EJ's dad has pulled some strings and gotten him into Duke, but now EJ isn't so sure that's what he wants. So yeah, drama's continuing to escalate as we enter the back half of the second season. Thanks to you guys for actually letting me know that this is a 12-episode season, I think. So yeah, we still got a ways to go. But now I want to know all your thoughts on this episode. What was your favorite moment? What has been your favorite song so far this season? Favorite original song? And yeah, do you think Ricky and Nene will break up? Should they break up? Should they actually just sit down and communicate? Did you predict that Howie twist? Because I feel like that was a pretty easy one to see, but maybe that's just me. And what do you think about what East High should do? Should they break the rules and perform the Rose at the Menkeys, or should they change up the show some other way without breaking any rules? Let me know all your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. After that, you can click right over here to check out more of my videos. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my rambling thoughts and other videos. And let me know if you want to see other stuff on this channel. But for now, my name is Lisa. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and I'll see you next time.